Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This week's episode will be about talking to God. Every single one of us has different events in our life, and as these events progress, some are more significant than others, whether that may be good or bad. Now, I have noticed that when these significant events appear, that is when we talk to God. We talk to God about the things that happen in our life that are significant, the big things. Now, recently I have been thinking a lot about prayer. You see, prayer essentially is just having a conversation with God, right? And so I was wondering, why don't I do that more often? And if it's so simple as to just have a conversation with God, talking to God, I think there is so much freedom in that perspective of prayer. Rather than having this formal speech thought out, just to have a conversation with God. Now, as I was thinking about it, as I was thinking about the topic of prayer, I realized that there's a specific pattern to the things I talk to God about, which I should probably change. Now, before I talk about that, I want to ask everyone a question. Don't you hate it when people only come to you when they need you? Okay, let me explain. We all have that friend that we go to when we need something or we have a question. They're not our top friend. They're not even one of our friends. They're just a person you go to ask questions, and you count them as a friend because they are useful to you. You ask them about your job, your work, your school, anything you have, but it's never how are you or what are you doing or guess what? They are not the person you talk to. They are not prioritized, but rather just a tool to help you in your life. Now, when we are the ones asking the questions and when we are the ones getting the answers, we don't really feel too much into it. But then all of a sudden, everyone's feelings are hurt when we are the ones being asked the questions, when we are the ones being the tool, when that one friend you have only talks to you when they need you. It's never, how are you? What are you doing? Guess what? But rather can you tell me the answer to this? Can you tell me the answer to that? All of a sudden, we don't really want to talk to you anymore because you only talk to us when you have a question. All of a sudden, you don't really feel like friends anymore. You feel like your relationship is being downgraded just because it is a conversation of questions. You are never needed, only a tool. Don't you hate it when people only talk to you when they have a question? Well, then why do we do it to God? Why do we only talk to God when we need something, when He is useful? I feel like a lot of the time we use God as a tool. I was thinking about my own prayer life, and aside from thanking God for all the good things He does in my life, and even that is limited, aside from asking Him all the things I want, I don't really talk to God about the little things because in my mind, God already knows all the little things, so why bother? But the thing is, prayer isn't just telling God your wishes, but it's also taking the time and taking the initiative to sit there and talk to God, to spend time with God. Sure, He knows everything, but He also knows your wishes and your dreams and your requests. So why bother saying those if you're not going to bother telling Him the small details? I think prayer, in my mind, and many others, is like the last thing you do. I feel like a lot of the times you're praying right before you go to bed and you feel like, oh, God already knows, so I don't have to take too much time for God. But no, if the creator of the universe wants to talk to you, shouldn't you want to talk to him so much more? He's open all the time. He is always listening to you. But you put him you put place him at this the last resort. He is the last person you talk to in your day. And maybe he's your first person, but how long are you talking to him in the morning? You might be like, oh, but I talk to God in the morning all the time. I thank Him for the day and I ask Him to protect me. I do all of that too. But how much time are you actually spending with God? How much time am I actually spending with God? You see, a lot of the time in our minds, we think of God as some sort of genie who will grant you more than three wishes. So that's when we start to like God. That's when we start to talk to God. We tell God all our requests and our wishes as if He is some genie out there waiting to listen to us. But no, God is not a genie who grants your wishes, for He already knows your wishes. You don't have to make them. He is a person there to, He is a being there to talk, listening, waiting for you to talk to Him. He is quite literally the creator of the universe, the creator of you and me, waiting and listening for us to talk to Him. So, why don't we talk to Him more often? Why do we only talk to God when we need Him? Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the video. Honestly, I've been thinking a lot about prayer, and I was just like, this came across my mind, and I was like, oh my gosh, I do this, I should stop. And so I thought if I made a video about it, it would make it more clear to my mind and just have something to talk to you guys about as well. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to comment down below what you thought. Until next time, bye!